Joe, I have to ask you, this team getting off to a very hot start in April, now May. They've continued it, and if you look at the stats over the last 25 years, it's the fourth best start for this team. Knowing all the injuries that you guys have had to overcome, can you believe the way you've started off this season?
It's really amazing what these guys have done, and they just continue to impress me, and they find ways to win games. These guys have done it in a lot of different ways.
It seems as though they have that never-die attitude, like they believe they're going to come back in every game. What does that say about this team? Where does that come from?
Well, I think it comes from doing it a few times, and you get that confidence, but I also think it comes from our bullpen shutting other teams down when we're behind and giving us a chance to come back, and that's what they've done.
You look at the Tampa Bay Rays series, and coming in, they had a 4-game lead in the American League East. A little bit of a role reversal, because this time last year they had the 4-game lead, went on, of course, to not win the division title. You guys did. So where do you look at that right now?
Well, you look at trying to win a series, and we know they've been really swinging the bats lately. They've scored a lot of runs, and they've gotten hot. Longoria's been extremely hot, and they got Lou Scott back, which added to their offense as well. But you try to shut them down because you know their starting pitching is very good. We jumped all over Hernandez Friday night, but you know they have very good pitching. You
mentioned Friday night, and that was a tough time for you and for this Yankees lineup. Another injury, Curtis Granderson, again fracturing his hand. How tough is that to deal with? Not only losing his bat in the lineup, but knowing what he went through to get back.
Well, I just feel so bad for him because he worked his tail end to get back, and he plays for a week and gets hit again. And it's unfortunate, and Ramos, he didn't try to hit him. He hit him in the hand, and he's going to be down for a while. We're going to have to find a way to overcome it again. Our guys did a nice job last time, but I just thought he was just getting going. His at-bats were really good, and he hit a home run Wednesday in Baltimore and had a bunch of hits. It's really unfortunate.
How do you keep his spirits high in a time like this? Is he just an unlucky guy at this point?
Yeah, well, you have the guys rally around him, and he's going to need some hugs. That's the bottom line, because you're coming into a year where you want to have a big year, and he's a team guy. But he's also a free agent, and he's missed the first 6 or 7 weeks of the season. He's going to miss some more time, and that's frustrating for a player.
David Phelps also got hit by a comebacker, Hiroki Kuroda, 2 games ago. Same fate. Are you kind of just holding your breath out there as you're watching these games being played?
You just kind of say, oh my goodness, how does that happen? In Phelps, he gave us a good performance Friday night, 7 2/3. He probably would have given us 8 had he not gotten hurt, but. You have little concerns, not long term. Hiroki's going to be able to make his starts, and he's got a bruised calf. Phelps has got a bruised forearm, but you worry about their next start. Are they able to do the work that they need to do to prepare for that next start? And that's a concern of ours.
When you look at Phelps, back-to-back 7+ inning outings, how impressed have you been with him when he moved to the rotation?
His command has been pretty sharp, and that's really important for him. And he knows how to pitch. He's got 4 pitches. He's got his fastball, his curveball, slider, and his change. And he's done a really good job. And, I don't think it was till the 5th inning on Friday night he gave up a hit. He really had good stuff and good command.
How much has he matured? How much has he grown as a pitcher over the last year?
I think a lot. And I saw the biggest change from spring training from 2011 to spring training 2012. 2011, I thought he was a little bit overwhelmed with his surroundings. 2012, he came back a different guy. Had a very good year, and he's continued.
Keep it with the injury front, which I know you hate talking about, but seems to be the storyline all year long.
The show has its own segment, the injury report.
It really does. I feel like by the end of the season, I should be able to get a degree or something, my MD, after reporting on all these injuries. But there is some positive news in Mark Teixeira. He seems to be inching his way back.
Yes, he is. And I saw him Friday, and he looked very good. He's in tremendous shape. He looks like he's really close to getting, to where he's going to be able to help us. We expect him to go on a rehab. He's been playing in simulated games. He's going to play in some other games down in Tampa, some of the extended spring games. But he's pretty close, and he feels good, and he's had no issues with his wrist. Euclid, same thing. He is healing well. We expect him to probably go in some rehab games. Jabba, we hope to get him back soon. So we are getting some positive news. But it's frustrating when you lose a guy like Grandy again.
When you look at a guy like Teixeira, knowing that bat's going to be back in the lineup, a switch hitter, which gives you some more flexibility, how much do you look forward to that aspect?
Well, that's a big part of it because of the flexibility that it gives us, because you can break up a lot of our left-handers. As you see, a lot of times we stack at least 2 left-handers and a right-hander, then 2 or 3 more, and then, we have to stack them. With that switch hitter and the power in the middle of the order, it will help us.
When you look at some of the guys that are coming back, obviously some tough roster decisions are going to have to be made. Is that something that you're kind of dreading as an organization, knowing what these guys have done for you so far?
Well, we always say that it has a way of taking care of itself, and unfortunately, that's been the case. I probably need to stop saying that because people are asking, well, how are you going to play 4 outfielders in 3 spots? I said, you know what? Sometimes it has a way of ironing itself out, and then Curtis gets hit and breaks his hand again. That's not what I was looking for, but I think you worry about it when the time comes. You don't spend any. I don't waste any energy worrying about, well, when this guy comes back, what are you going to do? Let's just get him back, and then we'll figure it out.
You look at a guy like David Adamson, who's come up at third base, hasn't played a ton of third base throughout his career, and he seems to be pretty impressive so far, both offensively and defensively.
He has been great, and he's made some tough plays. We've seen him make some tough plays. He swung the bat extremely well. I'm sure Friday was pretty thrilling for him because his whole family was in town. And that's big. It can be a lot of pressure on a young player when your family shows up, but you have a good game, and it can be really enjoyable for everyone involved.
Hearing some of the reports prior to him getting up here, the word had been good offensively, defensively a little questionable. Did you hear those reports, or are you pleasantly surprised with what you're getting from him defensively?
Well, what I had heard, he was a very good player, but he was a second baseman, and we converted him to third baseman, and I think that's where some of the, the doubts came in. He hasn't played a lot there. Has he seen every play? Has he seen certain plays a lot of times? But he's done very well. He's went to his left, he's went to his right, he's had to come in, he's gotten rid of the ball quickly when he has to, so we've been impressed.